Body, we are back for another one. Dana White's Contender Series, Season 10, Week 2. And we are ready. I'm here a little bit later this time so that I don't have to go through the UFC ads and everything. So we're just getting introduced to our first set of fighters. So I'm going to put on the screen the card for tonight. Let me share my screen with you guys. Let's go. So, of course, the main attraction in this one is, of course, the main event. And I'm talking about Namo Fazil versus Kaik Brito. Both men are very experienced and both men are looking to make a statement at Dana White's Contender Series tonight. And that is why that is the main event. And you can tell Namo is very ready to be the star of the show. Then if you look at the other guys, let's have a little look at this one. The UFC have kindly put everything in the right place. So here we go. That is the first face-off. And then, oh, hang on. Up. That is, of course, the ones we know. I'm not sure how to navigate this in my web browser. Here we go. That way you can go see a little bit of what's going on tonight at Dana White's Contender Series. We have a lot of guys on this episode that have already done Dana White's Contender Series because, unfortunately, they lost, got knocked out, or didn't get a contract. This is a second chance for 5 of these guys to try again. These two both got knocked out in their first fights at Dana White's Contender Series, so we're really looking for a second chance, redemption, as they say, in this one. And this is our first fight on the card. So let me put the card up for you guys. How is everybody? Right. There we go. So that is our card for tonight. Puga versus Trembley going to happen first. Trembley, Puga. 2 very exciting individuals. I'm currently waiting for this episode to start. We are getting introduced to the fighters. As usual, the UFC are very long with this, but we are getting there. It is 1:15 a.m. in France right now. What time is it where you guys are? Are you guys watching late evening, early evening? I just woke up from a nap. So I'm ready for a long evening of MMA. Hopefully a long evening of MMA and hopefully, of course, some contract winners. It's just very exciting. Both these men in this fight are looking very hungry, especially Trembley. Trembley is ready for his chance at UFC Gold, at UFC contracts. I do wish they put less introduction in for their starts, but yeah, that's the UFC. We don't catch a break. They love doing this. Here we go. First fighter is getting ready to come in. So Tanner Trembley from the United States of America is making his way to get his Vaseline put on his face. He's looking ready. He's looking poised. We're very excited for this man. He has all his chances to get a UFC contract tonight. And I'm excited. First time getting Vaseline put on by a UFC cutman must be incredible. He is currently at 7-0, undefeated. He finished all 7 of his wins and 2 by knockout, 5 by submission, and 4 first-round finishes. So very exciting from Tanner Trembley. This should be a don't blink sort of fight, guys. Do not blink. He's going to be making his way up the steps of the octagon now. Ready to go. Let me know, guys, what you think of the new Apex. As I was saying last weekend, I think it looks good. The new Apex does. A lot of people are in there, and I've heard, of course, that the UFC are going to be or already doing very cheap seats for the Apex card and Dana White's Contender Series, which is very good. So for any of you guys who can make it out to Vegas, I recommend watching Dana White's Contender Series live in the flesh. And apparently the seats are really cheap. Hello, Astro. How are you doing? I hope it's a good night too. It's 4 p.m. here. I'm cooking dinner, waiting for fight start. That's a good time. That's a good time. I don't know why I signed up for this, but I get so much FOMO when I watch UFC or anything UFC related after the fact. So you got to get up in the middle of the night. You got to get it done. Hopefully this time around we're getting some good contract winners and some people that are understanding that for UFC and Dana White's Contender Series, we need to give it our all. Because I really hope they will. Right, tail of the tape. So Roman Gabriel Puga, 29 years old. Probably the same height. Then we've got Tanner Trembley, 7-0. Roman is at 5-1. Very exciting. They have very similar reach, very similar height. So this is very even playing field for both guys. Tanner Trembley has a bit more professional experience. We have Jason Herzog as our first referee of the evening. It's started. Let's go. A nice featherweight bout to kick off Dana White Contender Series. I wouldn't say no myself. For now, it's definitely Puga who's taking all the control here. Nice low kicks from both men. Puga has the octagon control. But this could change right in the first seconds of the fight. Ooh. Some lovely striking from this, guys. Brilliant striking. Some nice exchanges. This must be so nerve-wracking to not get knocked out. Because you know your hopes and dreams are all depending on this moment. Some nice exchanges. I think it's quite even right now. Very active, however. A good featherweight bout for Dana White's Contender Series to start off. First minute of the first round, it's looking good. Trembley is looking to get that takedown. He's not getting that takedown. Roman Puga is not letting him do it. Very exciting. Ooh. Puga is landing some nasty shots. He has already probably broken Trembley's nose right now. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Puga is piecing apart Trembley. Is Trembley going to get his first one on his record? Is he going to lose his 0 tonight at Dana White's Contender Series? He is getting beaten up. He is badly bruised and bloodied. He's trying to get that takedown. It's not working for him. He's grabbing that leg. It's not working out. Try something else. He stood up. He stood up. Trembley is still here. Oh, knockdown from Puga on Trembley. This could end very badly in the first round for Trembley. No. He's trying his best. But Puga's trying to get that ground and pound win. He's not getting it. Okay. Trembley is holding on for dear life. 2.5 minutes left of this round. Trembley we're getting some nice 12-6 elbows onto Trembley. This isn't looking good, but he's on the ground, so this is where he thrives. He's trying to get those legs, but he's not able to. He's not able to get that control. Trembley is getting beaten up, guys. Okay. Well, Astro, if you have 45 minutes plane ride away from Vegas, go ahead now. You gotta go. 2 minutes after this fight, looking good still. I don't know how Trembley is awake and still alive here. He is nastily beat up. He is going to have really, really, really bad damage to his face after this fight, whether he wins or loses. This is definitely a round for Puga, the underdog in this fight, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, he is a pick'em. Okay. Very interesting. 2 minutes left. Just under 2 minutes. 1 minute left. Ooh. Great takedown defense from Puga, as showing on the screen. 4 out of 4 takedowns stuffed. That's brilliant. That's really the only weapon that Trembley can have over Puga, and Puga is allowing none of it. He is piecing him apart. Trembley's nose is probably shattered right now. Oh my goodness. Second time that Trembley has lost his mouth guard. That is saying something right now. He is not looking in good shape. Puga has landed 44 out of 94 significant strikes to Trembley's 35 out of 69. Ooh, the tables are being turned. Trembley is getting some nice shots landed on Puga, but Puga is getting that return. Oh my goodness. This is what you call a dogfight. Lovely end to the first round of that one. That was a nice way to start off Dana White's Contend series, honestly. Lovely. First round, looking good. Dana White is on his feet clapping because he's very happy with how this is going. Well, yeah, I am too, Dana. Compared to last week, this is looking a lot better. This is a very, very nice round. Hopefully the second round, there'll be a finish. I don't think there's any way this could last, honestly. Let me just get this promoted, my live promoted, whilst I am waiting for this match to come back. Okay, we're about to resume the second round of this one, guys. Very exciting. I think they'll be finishing this fight, and they'll be finishing this round. If this lasts again another round, I'd be very, very shocked, honestly. Nice high kick from Trembley. Trying to come back in there. Looks good. Ooh, Trembley's striking is very good still. But Puga is the one that is less damaged, a lot less damage. I think when you take as much damage as you have, as has Trembley, you lose all your lucidity. Oh my goodness. Puga is laying it thick on Trembley. Trembley, of course, looking for those legs again. Once again, stuffed. The takedowns are being stuffed here. This is crazy. Oh. Maybe these dogs are not going to finish each other. They're just going to have a dog fight. And maybe Dana will give both guys a contract. I wouldn't be surprised if Dana did that. Even though I think he shouldn't. I think he should definitely just give it to Puga. Ooh. They are getting nicely beaten up. Both guys are getting nicely beaten up. But obviously, Trembley is in bad shape still. Protecting his face. He's reminding me of Ilia Topuria in his fight against Justin Gaethje. Head is long down to protect his face. Shooting for that takedown. Not getting it. That is crazy. Puga definitely should sign to the UFC. That's definitely UFC signature material now. Oh my goodness. Bravo to Trembley though, because he has managed to stay in this fight despite all of those strikes. He's been eating those jabs. When will he fall down? He's just taking jab after jab after jab to the face, and he's not falling down. That is crazy. Good on you, Trembley. Puga is laying it thick on you. He's trying to attack those legs just in case, but unfortunately, that's not going to cut it. 2.5 minutes left of the second round, guys. Come on. There needs to be a finish here. I can't believe there's not a finish here. Oh, that one hurt. That one really hurt. Puga still laying on thick onto Trembley. Still no sign of a finish here. I just can't believe it. I am lost for words here. Trembley is so beaten up. Now we're getting the stats on the head, body, and leg strikes. Puga has laid down 80 head strikes, 31 body strikes, and Trembley is just dominating on the low kicks, on the calf kicks, lower body. Not a surprise to me at all. Still no finish. We're 1 minute and 30 seconds into this, to the end of this round. Second round is looking very exciting, but there's no finish. This is giving Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje vibes right now. Oh, and I feel like Trembley has a similar style to Justin Gaethje actually. When he's on that counterattack, he looks just like Justin Gaethje with those overhands. Puga is relentless here. There's no way that Trembley is still standing up right now. I can't believe it. But he is still there. I can't believe he's able to do this. They're giving each other some nice body. Knee to the body in the clinch. Puga is just tearing Trembley apart. Puga is tired though. He's been at it for the last almost 10 minutes. Wow. What a nice way to end the round again. We're at 30 seconds to the end of the round and we're getting the same style dogfight as we did in the first. But they're not finishing each other. This could be a double contract winner sort of situation. Very nice. 10 seconds left of the second round. Oh, Trembley has landed some nice shots on Puga. I think out of the two of them, if Puga gets hit by one of those jabs, he's going down. Despite the fact that Trembley is really pieced apart. If you guys could see his face right now, for those who are not watching, he is in bad shape. Oh my goodness. Hello, octopus with no friends. Yeah, he is like Justin. Have you seen that? Crazy. I'm getting real Justin Gaethje vibes from here. And I think that anything to do with Justin Gaethje, any vibes like this, Dana White will sign both guys, for sure. I have no doubt at all in my mind Dana White will sign both guys. If this goes to a decision, whatever happens, Dana White will sign them both. That is sure. That's for sure. Yeah, I give them both a contract too. And I wouldn't be upset about the fact that he didn't do that. Well deserved. Right, going into the last round of this crazy fight. Let's go. Oh, wow. Trembley is putting it on Puga. As I said, Puga, Trembley needed just to land some nice jabs. He is going for it. Whoa. This is really a UFC 300 Gaethje Holloway moment right now. Both men are bloodied up. Of course, Trembley, as I said, is the most bloodied up of the two of them, but both men are in a bad shape. Oh my goodness. This is a double contract winner fight. I think even if there's a finish in this round, Dana will give both men a contract. Because if Trembley gets finished, he'll say, Trembley, you deserve a contract whether or not you got finished, guy. That is a crazy, crazy, insane fight. Puga is wobbled, guys. That is crazy to me. He dominated this whole fight. This is probably what Trembley wanted, to get through those first 2 rounds. Now coming to the third, he is going to try and take him down. I don't think the takedowns are going to work. I think he needs to stop takedowns. There's no use. Okay, the takedown has been achieved. We could be getting a late rear naked choke from Trembley to cap off this fight. I think Puga will do everything in his power not to get submitted in the last few rounds, because that would be such a shame. Let's go. Rear naked choke is imminent, guys. Rear naked choke is imminent. I would be so upset for Puga if he gets choked out right now. But I would not be surprised. This could be a crazy turn of events here. Okay. Puga is trying to reverse positions here. Trembley is very good on the ground. He's relentless. He's not letting Puga go. Puga has managed to reverse positions here. So if this fight stays on the ground until the last second of the fight, I would not be surprised. Puga is going to try and get some ground and pound probably. Yep, nice 12-6 elbows if he can. Trembley doing everything to get out of there. Okay, we're getting back on the feet. Nice. We are back on the feet officially, guys. This is insane. Oh my goodness. They're both very tired, very buddied up. They will not forget this fight, I don't think. 177 out of 325 significant strikes landed for Puga. Wow. Probably one of the records for your Dana White's Contender series. Probably not the #1 record, but one of. Wow. They're just exchanging blows right now. Who will fall first? That is the question. Or if no one does, then good on you guys. Both men are going to get a contract here for sure. Some really beautiful work from both men. They both deserve UFC contracts. This is what the UFC are looking for, and I think especially for the featherweight division, this could be very interesting to add to the featherweight division with Captain Volk at the helm for now. Oh my goodness. Last minute, guys, they are exchanging blows. They are not letting up. There's so much blood coming out of Trembley's face and head. He will be having a lot of stitches in many places after this fight. Oh my goodness. Takedown attempt did not work out. Trembley needs to stop trying to take down. Yeah, Trembley is tough. He's a tough nut, honestly. Very impressed by his work. That's why both men will probably get a contract here, because whether or not this ends in a UD victory for Puga, which I think which will happen probably. Now we've got 20 seconds left. UD victory for Puga, but it's a very close one, and they'll both get contracts. They can be proud of each other. It's not unheard of. We've seen it many times before, where Dana gives out 2 contracts in one fight because these are dogs. Wow, this is beautiful. Beautiful organized violence, as we say. Okay. That was amazing. Now that is Dana White's Contender series. That is what we're talking about. Finally. That is definitely worthy of a contract winner. Both guys should get contracts here. So we just had Puga versus Trembley. Very exciting fight. Dana White came into the octagon specifically to congratulate both men. Wow. That is huge. That is a sign that he knows already that both men are getting a contract here. They're very happy with their performances, I think. Puga knows he's got that win, but I think Trembley can be sure that he gets a contract too. I don't think he needs to worry about that. Beautiful work. Let's wait until everything's been cleaned up. Let's wait for those two to have their faces cleaned up. And now we're going to be seeing who's going to win this fight. I think it's obvious. These are two tough men. But unfortunately for Trembley, I think his 0 is going. But what better way to lose your 0, getting a UFC contract on Dana White's Contender Series? Okay, you're no longer undefeated, but at least you can add this beautiful fight to your body of work. I think there's no shame in that at all. They're showing us replays, obviously, from the fight. That is beautiful. Very excited. That sets the tone for what is to come in this episode of Dana White's Contender Series. And I think that we have quite a nice night to look forward to here. Obviously, there'll be no surprise here. We get the official results now from Justin Bernardo. Okay. Let's go. Who's winner now? It's not going to be a draw, is it? Puga won this fight. Puga, of course, he did. Both men are probably going to get contracts here, no doubt. No doubt at all in my mind. They both deserve contracts. UD victory for Raymond Gabriel Puga. Brilliant fight. Well-deserved win for Puga. Well-deserved contract for both guys. This is insane. What a fight. That is a way to set off Dana White's Contender Series well and truly for this week. If the other fights aren't this good, then I'm logging off. I didn't wake up for this. I'm joking. I'm joking. Let me promote my video right now on my Instagram, so everyone knows we are live for Dana White's Contender Series. Right. At least we know this won't take too long to get to the next fight because they've already taken up 15 minutes of our time. Dana White, of course, congratulating even Puga's team for the great work that they just did. Brilliant work. They should be proud of themselves, both men. UFC material right there. There is no doubt about it. That's what I'm talking about right now. That is what I'm talking about. We now waiting for the next fight. The next fight, of course, is between Alik Lorenz and Alik. Both men have already been on Dana White's Contender Series, as I said. Both men got knocked out in their last fights at Dana White's Contender Series. So this is the real redemption arc for this next fight. Huge redemption arc for the next fight. They're going to be showing us. Okay, Paul Felder is interviewing Raymond Gabriel Puga after that fight. Brilliant work from him. Very happy. Let me listen and let you know what he's saying. For those who are not listening. 184 significant strikes in unanimous decision win. He is now 6-1. Trembley is now 7-1. Not too shabby. Paul Felder is saying we're blessed to be here watching greatness, and we are really watching greatness right now. So we are blessed to be able to witness this sort of fight on a Tuesday night, guys. For me, of course, Wednesday morning, but on a Tuesday night, we're witnessing stuff we never thought we'd see. The next fight has some big shoes to fill. Sorry, guys, but I'm expecting only fights like that. All finishes, of course. We do like an early finish as well. Lorenz versus Alik is the next fight on the card. Let's hope this will go down well. So let me read you guys my notes about Lorenz versus Alik. Okay. So Alik Lorenz versus Mahamed. So this is a rematch nobody asked for, but everyone should watch. Because both of these guys are ready for on Dana White's Contender Series, as I said to you. Alik Lorenz is 7-2, 6 KO wins plus 1 sub. So of course he's finished his whole load of victories. He's finished. His last win was absolutely ridiculous. 24-second Tico over Gabriel Timoteo at LFA 228. So he's a former LFA fighter. But his previous Dana White Contender Series appearance ended badly. One of his only losses was from Dana White's Contender Series, unfortunately. He was stopped in just 30 seconds by Abdul Rahman Yakayev. Oh my goodness. Do you guys, if any of you guys watch that fight, then you guys will know. Abdul Rahman Yakayev, he's a fighter I know from France because he used to fight for Perez, a local regional French promotion for MMA. And Abdul Rahman is probably one of the most talented Turkish fighters coming out of France and getting a Dana White's Contender Series opportunity, getting a contract and completely blowing everyone away. These are light heavyweights, of course, guys. I just could not believe that Perez was gatekeeping Abdul Rahman that long. He is so good. So I completely understand why Alik Lorenz lost his first appearance on Dana White's Contender Series. It's very understandable. Then on the other hand, we have Mahamed Ali. He's at 5-1. Ali is a full-time IBJJF champion, so there's serious grappling here. But his first appearance in Dana White's Contender Series was brutal. He fought eventual UFC signee Iro Baranowski. They were getting some really tough opponents. He came back in March and got his own 20-second knockout, stopping Diego Picla with a knee to the body. Wow, this is very, very, very good fight. I'm excited. I love light heavyweight fights anyway because we're getting into those big categories. We're getting into those big boys. So this is a huge fight. Lorenz versus Ali, light heavyweight. Both men looking to get their redemption arc, and I really hope they do. All right. Come on, UFC. Send us the next fighters out. We are looking to see some light heavyweight action, please. They're going to give us another ad, I'm sure. Yes, they are. They're currently giving us the ad for Garcia versus Ben, of course, done over on Paramount Plus, Zuffa Boxing. Who is looking forward to that fight? I don't know if any of you guys watch Zuffa Boxing. I try to watch as much as possible. This fight I will definitely be watching, however, Garcia versus Ben. And what is funny is that Conor Ben speaks better Spanish than Garcia. Something I did not expect at all. Very exciting. But the element of that fight, which is quite concerning to me, is that Garcia is, of course, a 147-pounder. He is, of course, making Conor Ben go back down to 147. He's going down for the last time in his career. He cannot go down anymore. He is looking really bad. He's cutting right now. He's looking really bad. I'm not even sure Conor Ben will make weight. Right, so showing Abdul Rahman Yakayev knocking out, of course, Lorenz, getting the loss in the first appearance at Dana White's Contender Series. So they're really going heavy on that redemption arc, of course. He is, of course, looking to get the contract this time. I think he didn't get a good start. Of course, Abdul Rahman, he is future light heavyweight championship material. And I'm not saying that Lorenz couldn't be, but I think sometimes you just get caught, and it's not because you're a bad fighter. It's just because your opponent was just that quick. That's just that better, much better than you. Doesn't mean he's a bad fighter. Doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a spot at the UFC. And I think light heavyweight could do with any welcome addition to the roster. Because right now in the light heavyweight division at the UFC, it's very exciting. We have some very nice prospects coming up, and we have a great top 5. But of course, the UFC don't know, or at least we don't know, what the UFC are planning to do with the light heavyweight division in terms of the interim champ. Because of course, Carlos Ulberg is injured, and he won't be back until July, at least July 2027. Hopefully he'll be back sooner, but I don't think so. In the meantime, we need an interim champ. I did a video on this on my channel if you guys watched it. We need an interim champ at light heavyweight. So there has been some discussions between Paulo Costa and Yuri Prochazka. We were supposed to see Khalil Roundtree versus Ankalaev. We didn't see that, unfortunately. And now we're gonna probably see an interim title fight. I think Paulo Costa will be in there nonetheless. But according to Yobahaska, he agreed and signed a contract to fight Paulo Costa for the interim belt. But Paulo Costa wants to sign a contract that is lucrative enough for him. So if we can get some new additions to this light heavyweight division, they are welcome. Yakayev will obviously be waking his way up the rankings. But we have, of course, Carlos the champ from New Zealand. We have Navajo Sterling, who is about to break into that top 5, who just obliterated Jan Blachowicz. But unfortunately, he won't fight the champ because they train together, of course, long-time training partners at CKB. I understand, but this means that the top 5 will get a little bit jammed in terms of type of picture. At least we have some huge talent in that top 5 of that light heavyweight division, and some huge talent coming back into that top 5. Dana White Contender Series, watch along live. Early prediction in this fight. I don't know. I think Ali is a slight favorite. Well, he's not a slight favorite. He's a huge favorite here, Ali. But I think he has the advantage here. Unfortunately for Lorenz, this is going to end up very badly. Whether or not Lorenz wins or Ali wins, both men, of course, are coming back. This is a redemption arc. So unfortunately, one of you guys will have attempted greatness a second time and not achieve greatness once again. Ali is a minus 425 favorite. Lorenz is a plus 300 underdog. So if he wins this fight, congratulations to him, because he is not meant to win this one. Mahamed Ali from Brazil, 3 first-round finishes, 4 wins by knockout. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, of course. He looks like a very tough, bad man. I would be scared to get in the octagon with him. I think Lorenz Ali, I hope he's ready for this one. Yeah, having Iwo as your first fight is tough. So as we were talking about, Iwo Baranowski was Muhammad Ali's first opponent at Dana White's Contender Series, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. But of course, both these men came across absolute killers in their first fights at Dana White's Contender Series. Oh, wow. Ali has a lot of supporters back home in Brazil watching his fight from the gym. I love that. I think the camaraderie is very, very cool. I like that. He's coming out sweaty. Yes, he is. He came out nice and sweaty. I think he was putting in some work on those pads before coming out here. Now we have Alik Lorenz coming out. Alik Lorenz, of course, looking to, again, get the redemption arc going. I can't wait for this fight because both men are probably going to be coming out all guns blazing here. That is for sure. Getting the mouth card in. I would be so scared coming into that octagon against Ali. I'm sorry. Lorenz, good luck. Obviously on the less physically imposing sort of structured look. If we were to compare physiques, of course, Lorenz has a less muscly physique, but that does not mean that he will lose. 6 first-round finishes, finished all 7 wins via finish, 6 knockouts in those 7 wins and 1 submission. Very nice. Let's get into that octagon. Let's get this party started. Some light heavyweight action for our second fight on Dana White's 10 Series, Season 10, Week 2. We're getting started in a couple of seconds now. Right. Tailor the tape, guys. So Alik Lorenz is slightly younger at 29 years old to Muhammad Ali's 32. But in terms of stats, we are looking at exactly the same height and reach, apart from 5 inches, 0.5 inches difference. And as I said, Ali is at 5-1. Alik Lorenz is at 7-2. I cannot show the fights. I'm very sorry. It is on Dana White's Contender Series. It is on, of course, UFC Fight Pass and Paramount Plus, but I can't show the fights here. I will get banned. I would have loved to. That would be great. Oh, this is starting off very, very quick. Huge difference in physique here. I'd almost say that Ali, looking at his physique now, he could probably move down to middleweight. If he has another bad fight here, he should probably put that down to the fact that he needs to move down. Because Lorenz is much bigger. He looks much heavier than Ali. These guys are very, very, very wary of each other because they do not want to get knocked out again in the first seconds of this fight. We're already at 4 minutes and 20 seconds, so they might get out of that 1 minute curse. That's already a nice achievement, I think. Oh, Ali needs to be careful. His head is way too exposed. You need to get that guard up, guys. Why is his corner not telling him to lift his guard up? Lorenz could get the knockout anytime soon right now. Calm down, calm down. Ooh. Lorenz is definitely looking for that quick knockout, one and done, get it done. Oh, he might get it now. Ooh, Lorenz hits hard. I don't know how he lost his last fight. Well, I do, but he was against Abdulrahman. Oh my goodness. This is beautiful, guys. Another dogfight right at the jump. Ali is already bleeding from the face. Lorenz is relentless. Relentless pressure, high volume, pressure fighting. This is going to end really badly for one of these guys. And I think it's mostly going to be Ali who will get knocked out here. So the favorite between the two guys is the one struggling the most. I think he's having a hard time gauging that distance and getting those jabs landed. He's landed a few jabs right now. Lorenz is at 16 out of 35 significant strikes to the head, and Ali is at 2 out of 9. Ali is going to be wobbled here now. Oh, Ali is down. Nice knockdown from Lorenz. Ground and pound victory. He is out. Oh my goodness. So I predicted really badly this fight. I went for the favorite here, and the underdog won that fight. Underdogs are killing it right now in every way, shape, or form. So unfortunately for Mahamed Ali from Brazil, despite all the support he has at home, despite everyone watching him from home, he will not be getting a contract today. Yep. Wow. That was a brilliant knockout win. We would say TKO, of course, but he was really beaten up. Well, there you go. The underdog wins in this one. Sorry to Mahamed Ali. Mahamed Ali needs to go back to the drawing board once again. One of them had to lose anyway, so it was definitely going to be a first round finish, though. From the start of the fight, you could tell. But Ali was not protecting his face appropriately enough, and unfortunately, Lorenz took advantage of that. Nice knockdown, very beautiful knockdown. And then Lorenz just completely bodied him. Beautiful work from Lorenz. He just looks so poised and ready. That volume, oh my goodness. Mahamed is complaining. Looks like he thinks he didn't get enough time to defend himself. That's the question. He got knocked down from one nasty right hand, and then he got hit twice in the face without defending himself. The ref ended the fight. Now, if I were the ref, yeah, I would have left maybe one more jab in. But of course, he was just protecting him from himself. Lorenz would have landed the third jab on the face, and he would have stopped the fight. But, we're fighting for contracts here. We're fighting for UFC opportunities. It's difficult. You got to save yourself from yourself. So Alik Lorenz, I think, will get his contract this time, guys. First time didn't work out. Second time's a charm. Now we got a first round knockout, which means, of course, they'll be giving us a lot of ads right now. Yeah, I think the ref stopped it after the head bounced off the mat. But he still looked conscious to me. But whereas there's a fine line between being conscious and not being conscious, in the sense that when you get hit, that can wake you up and knock you out at the same time. And we've seen it in some fights that have been really frustrating to watch, i.e. Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega, where Brian Ortega gets hit really badly on the feet by Max Holloway. That you can tell he gets knocked out, but Max just follows through with a second jab, because he was doing a combination here, and that woke Brian Ortega back up, and he stayed up on his feet. So when Ali's head hit the canvas, I think that was waking him up, but he was out for like a split second. So I completely agree with the ref here, but I think Ali will probably obviously protest this, because who wouldn't? You are competing on Dana White's Contender Series for a UFC contract. This is everything you've worked for your entire life, and unfortunately you've come back a second time to get knocked out. It's obviously very difficult, but yeah, I agree. The ref made a good call here. He saved Ali from himself, and I definitely agree with you, Astral. He stopped it after the head bounced off the canvas, because he was for a split second knocked out here on the ground. And even with the knockdown, he was out for a split second up, even before he came and landed on the ground. So I think it was a well-deserved victory for Alik Lorenz. A clean stoppage, no full stoppage here. This was not a robbery. He would have let him go to a third jab on the ground. It would have been the same results. You get less brain damage. I don't think you can complain about that. I think I prefer having less brain damage and losing my fight than winning my fight, or losing my fight still, but getting more brain damage because I wanted the ref to stop the fight a little bit later on. It doesn't make any sense. Brilliant second fight of this card. We have now next Paxton versus Perez. Let me get off my information to read to you guys about this fight. So here we go. Paxton versus Perez. So this might actually be my fight to watch. I've noted this down. So Logan Paxton, the guy you see with the handlebar moustache, because his nickname is Wolverine. So Logan Wolverine Paxton, he's at 10-1 currently. 7 KOs, 2 submissions, 1 decision to his record with 1 loss. He has a 90% finish rate. He also trains at the Nick Diaz Academy, so that should speak for himself. Paxton is a ruthless, aggressive, powerful fighter, and he has spent much of his career fighting at welterweight, so dropping to lightweight adds another interesting wrinkle. Because of course, a lot of fighters, when they move down, they keep that power from their upper division, from their higher division. So I completely agree. Anyone moving down, there's an advantage here. So not sure why he's spent most of his career at welterweight and then now he's going down to lightweight, but he might want to be a little bit of a weight buddy here. I don't know. He is facing, of course, Cristian Perez, who is at 14-2. Perez has a much more extensive professional resume with 5 KOs, 6 submissions, and 3 decisions. And he's already fought on Dana White's Contender Series. This is a redemption arc for Cristian Perez. He lost to Manuel Sousa in season 9 after actually having some success grappling with him. And then he got finished in the 3rd round. So it was an unfortunate turn of events for Cristian Perez. The UFC itself highlighted how Perez spent most of the fight out grappling Sousa before the Brazilian found the stoppage. So Perez has since fought and bounced back with a TKO win over Gilberto Santos. So looking good since he last fought at Dana White's Contender Series, Perez is. This is a redemption arc for Perez. Let me see where we're at. Obviously, the UFC are going to give us a lot of ads right now because we've got a second fight finished in the second fight of this card finished in the 1st round. So this would be very interesting. Perez versus Paxton. Paxton has never done Dana White's Contender Series. Perez, of course, has done Dana White's Contender Series. Very interesting. And also, as I said, very interesting that Paxton is moving down. This could be an underdog win again, because the odds here are as follows. Cristian Perez is at -200 to Paxton's plus 200. So Perez obviously has the advantage here because he has an extensive history with Dana White's Contender Series, and of course with his extensive personal pro record. I don't know. This could be another underdog winning here. Yeah, of course, Astral. Having less brain damage should always be a priority, of course. And that is the ref's priority, of course. I do hope they're going to give us this fight quite quickly because I'm very impatient. But last week, mistake, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we weren't even into the third fight preparation. I think we were actually last week on Tuesday, we were still finishing the second fight of the card. So will they keep it as long as last week's episode? I don't know. Dana White's a busy man. If they can get this done in an hour and a half, then they should. If they can get it out and get the fights out in 1.5 hours, they should get it done. For those of you who are joining us now, our next fight is Paxton versus Perez. We are looking for a finish once again. Both men are finishing machines. Logan, Paxton. Of course, Logan has a nickname, Wolverine, and his name is Logan. I just realized that. Same name as Wolverine. That's crazy. I don't know what came first, the realization that he had the same name as Wolverine or the realization that he had similar facial hair. Not always, though, because Hugh Jackman varies his facial hair when he's Wolverine. But he has that kind of rough, musty look to him, Logan, Wolverine, Paxton. I like it. I like nicknames like that. What is your favorite nickname in the UFC right now? Breaking news, of course, Arman Tsarukyan just changed his nickname to Batman. I don't know where that's coming from, but we're going to have a lot of Marvel and DC superheroes in our UFC roster, because Michael Morales is basically Spider-Man at this point. So we're getting Logan Wolverine Paxton. If he signs his UFC contract tonight against all odds against Perez, then we get a Wolverine, and we have Arman Tsarukyan debuting as Batman. I mean, I like it. I mean, I don't really mind. Arman Tsarukyan, he cannot do much wrong in my eyes, honestly. I do like Arman Tsarukyan quite a bit. So if he wants to change his name, then he's changing his name. Batman is very, very different, you know. They are now showing us the Logan Paxton advertisement, showing us what he's made of. He has been at APFC, Anthony Pettis' MMA promotion, looking very good. There's some great prospects coming out of APFC, honestly. Very good prospects. Some surprises coming out there. LFA, APFC, they're all feeders to the UFC right now. They feed their fighters to the UFC once they are ready. Just as Cage Warriors do in the UK. Cage Warriors, of course, if you guys watch Cage Warriors, they are on UFC Fight Pass. And they are great. And they obviously feed their fighters to the UFC every once in a while. We've had some Paddy Pimblets, Idiot Warriors, Harry Hardwick, who has not had a great time of it. We will very much admit, but there's some real bad examples. We've had a lot of UFC signings that are very successful in the UFC right now come from Cage Warriors, LFA, APFC. So this should be a real tough one for Perez. Because even though Perez has more experience on Dana White's Contender Series, he's saying it now. In the last season of Dana White's Contender Series, I had to face I just missed his name. I think the fight was in my favor, the first and second rounds. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He dominated the first and second rounds of his first fight at Dana White's Contender Series. But unfortunately, it wasn't his night. He's come to get revenge. He's 26 years old. Wow. He's very young, so don't beat yourself up about it, guys. It is not a problem. He has a professional record of 14 wins and 2 losses. 10 of those have been finishes. 6-time national jiu-jitsu champion. And he's ready for the UFC. Well, I hope so. I'm ready to see what you are preparing for us. Aren't we so lucky though? Because there aren't a lot of sports where we get as much content as this. I mean, I can't speak from experience because I don't watch any other sport in this capacity. I sometimes watch a little bit of football, but that's about it. But aren't we so lucky that we get Saturday night evening fights and huge fight cards? We have this weekend UFC Sacramento, which is going to be very interesting as well. I'm getting my video out for that one tomorrow evening. But we have, of course, on Tuesdays, Dana White's Contender Series, starting in summer, finishing mid to late September or October time. That is just so great. I mean, how can we not be thankful to be UFC fans right now? MMA fans in general. For those who watch only UFC, of course, there is already enough UFC content to consume just with what the UFC come out with. But if you are an MMA fan in general and watch everything, then we have, of course, PFL. We're getting MVP MMA, absorbing PFL next year. So we're going to be seeing their events probably on Netflix or on other channels, ESPN, I don't know. We are very much spoiled brats, us MMA fans, because there is so much to choose from. And then every person in every part of the world gets obviously their regional scene MMA events as well, which is such a privilege to be able to watch. For those who don't know, and I don't think anyone, doesn't know right now, because I've said it so many times on this channel, I live in France. I'm from England, of course. Yes, I'm from London, but I live in France, and the regional scene in France is popping off. I mean, we'll be seeing some Dana White's Contender Series and just complete signatures to the UFC coming in from the French regional scene. I think the Sorgans and Benoit Saint-Denis have paved the way for some big names in French MMA to sign UFC contracts or get Dana White Contender Series opportunities. And, I've been saying this for so long, Sorgan, Benoit Saint-Denis, whether they've had ups and downs, they have represented French MMA in a way that has allowed us to take French fighters a lot more seriously on a global level. And I think the UFC are starting to very much take seriously the Frenchmen that are coming through. Okay. So we are very lucky, MMA fans. We have so much. MMA being a year-round sport is one of the reasons why I love it. Exactly. We're very lucky. I mean, there's no seasons. It's not like football where you have a season off and you have to wait until it comes back. We get all year round and we don't really get bored. Every weekend there's something happening. Even if the UFC take a break, I would admit though they did take a long break with their ESPN to Paramount Plus transition. That was really way too long. But apart from that, we get so many weeks and weeks and weeks on of MMA. We can't get bored. We have just so much to look forward to. Now we're getting set up for the fight, of course, looking at these guys' entrances into the octagon. I think this is a little bit earlier than last week. Logan Paxton's getting his Vaseline put on his face by beloved cutman Tate. Trains with UFC lightweight champion Justin Gaethje, so that is big, big stuff. Trains with, but is not trained by Trevor Whitman, though. Trevor Whitman, of course, Justin Gaethje's coach, he just took under his wing another French star, Fazil, who has been in the UFC for quite some time now, 7 years, I think, but he's not really made his way up the UFC lightweight rankings, so he has switched camps and is now training with Trevor Whitman, and I couldn't be happy for him, but obviously Justin Gaethje doesn't just train with Corey Sandhagen, Kamaru Usman and Faraz Ziam. Of course, he goes around and shops around for training partners. So Logan Paxton is one of those. Logan Paxton, 31 years old, to Cristian Perez is 27. Both have a similar height and reach. Perez has a slight reach advantage at 72 inches. Let's go, guys. Jason Herzog is our ref for this one. I think, as usual, we have only 2 refs for this evening. There we go. The fight has started. Here we go. We're going to get a feel for each other first. It feels like this lightweight bout is going to be very explosive. Oh, my goodness. Logan Paxton, he swings. Wow, he swings hard. These guys feel like bullets. The pressure they're putting on each other is crazy. Okay. Be wary of each other, guys. This is the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Perez. A second-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Nice high kick from Perez. Ooh, nice right overhand from Paxton. He trains with Justin Gaethje. What can I say? Right overhands are Justin Gaethje's signature move right now. Ooh. I hope. Oh. Already getting knocked down. That is not good sign for Logan Paxton. Wolverine, get your shit together. Perez is obviously seems a little bit more calm and composed compared to Logan. Logan Wolverine seems very agitated. He wants to get this done very quickly, and he could make some mistakes here. So he needs to be patient. He needs to be patient right now. Perez understands and knows what this feeling is. He's been through this already in season 9. He needs to stay composed. Logan needs to stay composed like Perez is. Oh. Perez is looking for that takedown. He didn't get it. Paxton has stuffed that takedown really well. I think that's one of the things that you want to avoid when you come on to Dana White's Contender Series. You don't want to be taking your opponents down and hugging them. That will not earn you a UFC contract. Ooh, Perez getting some nasty body shots in. Logan Paul needs to be careful. Logan Paxton. Wolverine needs to be careful. Our superhero, Marvel superhero Wolverine needs to be careful right now. It's calmed all the way down, this fight has. Nothing's really happening. We're all calm and composed. I think Logan has realized he needs to be patient. Your time will come. Take your time. You have 15 minutes. Even if the finish happens in the second round, it's not a bad thing. Get some low kicks in. Get a feel for your opponent. Gauge that distance. Take your time. That way you can get a nice shot in and it will land and you may get a KO. Getting knockout in the best way possible. Calm and composed. Perez is laying on thick, that pressure. Logan has the responses. Wolverine getting the takedown on Perez, giving him his back. Oh my goodness. Back on the feet straight away. So Perez has no. He does not want to get taken down. Perez said, nope, you've taken me down, but I am getting right back up. In no way, shape, or form am I staying on the ground. Getting some nice cage control for Paxton here. Probably going to take the round if it stays like this. Not had a lot of striking, of course. Ooh, Paxton's laying on thick with that striking in the corner. Cage control is definitely an advantage for Wolverine right now. He's able to land some nice right hands whilst in the clinch. That is beautiful. Oh, another right hand. Ooh. Trying to get those combinations in. Trying to get that knockout. Calm down, Paxton. You'll get it. Ooh. Another attempt at a takedown for Paxton. Didn't work out. Perez firing back. Ooh, nice kick to the head from Perez. It seems like a very even playing field in this lightweight bout. It is not surprising to me that the odds are quite even though Perez is obviously the favorite here with more experience in Dana White's Contender Series. The odds aren't crazy. We don't have any kind of crazy underdog plus 400, 400. And as I'm saying, it's even. Paxton, 27 significant strikes. Perez, 21 significant strikes. Seems pretty even to me. Almost at the end of this round. In the remaining 20 seconds here. Let's go. Ooh, a nice backhanded head kick for Wolverine. Wolverine trying to take him down once again. Perez isn't allowing it. No. The takedown will not happen. Very happy. Wolverine is very, very violent though. Okay, end of round 1, guys. I think that this could be a toss-em. This round at least is looking very even. Perez is looking good. And Wolverine Paxton is looking good on his side of things as well. Not too much damage taken from both guys. Just a little bit of damage under Logan's eye, but that's about it. Not much going around, not much going on. So both men can come back into this fight in the second round with clear heads. I think Logan just seems a bit agitated, a bit stressed out, so he needs to calm down. He needs to calm down and compose himself. Patience. Let's go. Second round. Let's get this party back started. Party on the road. Let's go. Okay. Fight. Let's go. Thank you, Jason. Okay, we'll see who's going to take this one. So as I said, 50-50 on the first round. Probably would give it to Paxton for the cage control if they were to choose someone who was winning this round. It was very close. Very close 10-9 round for sure for Paxton. Ooh. Oh. Perez scores the knockdown on Paxton. He's now unloading him. They're back on the feet, however. Ooh, Paxton got really lucky. Wolverine got really lucky here. He got knocked down and he got right back up. Oh. They're piecing each other apart right now. Paxton, he's getting impacted though. Paxton just received a nasty lower uppercut from Perez. I think Paxton, he takes another hard jab to the face and he'll be down. He needs to be careful. Oh my goodness. His face is way too forward, Paxton. Oh my goodness. It's finished. Perez got it. I just called it. I said to you, another nasty jab to the face and he was out. Wolverine, unfortunately, will not be signing to the UFC today. Cristian Perez, the redemption arc is achieved. First one was a fluke. Second time was the greatest opportunity of his lifetime. Now he is going to be signing with the UFC. Of course, I've not seen if Dana White is obviously giving him the contract, but there is no doubt with a KO like that Perez is getting. Hang on. There's no doubt that Perez is getting the contract here. I knew it wouldn't go the distance, Astral. This was definitely not happening. Oh my goodness, Wolverine. He looks so sad. Well, what can I say? Cristian Perez, the redemption arc has been achieved. I said it, another nasty jab to the face and Wolverine was out. It was just, you could tell he'd been knocked down way too many times. Wow, the nasty left hand. Oh my goodness. That was brilliant to watch. Oh my goodness. I'm sure Wolverine will say, I wasn't ready for the stoppage. You were out. That was the second or third time you were almost unconscious, guys. It was over. Yes, Cristian Perez's team obviously back home. They're all so happy. Oh, that makes me so heartwarmed. My heart is warmed when I see that kind of thing. Congratulations to Cristian Perez getting a beautiful second round KO victory over Logan Wolverine Paxton in his second attempt at getting a UFC contract on Dana White's Contender Series, and he got it done. Brilliant work from him. Sorry, Logan, we'll have to try again. But Cristian Perez is living proof that you can try again and you can get it done. First time wasn't a great experience for him. Second time was a charm. So Logan, I think Logan can definitely come back after this. He needs to probably work on some of his skills in the gym first, but he'll definitely be back. There's no doubt about it. Congratulations to Cristian Perez. A well-deserved victory and a well-deserved contract. I'm saying that before, of course, he's not signed yet, but if you don't know, now you know, he's getting a contract. Is he going to go and see Dana White whilst walking out of the Octagon? Probably. I hope he just shakes his hand and says, thank you for having me again. Thank you for this opportunity. I don't want him to be rambling on to Dana White. Yeah, I just fist bumped him. That's nice. Okay. Very respectful to the new boss. To your new boss, Dana White. He looks very calm and composed. He's not got the contract yet, so he's going to, he's staying calm for now. But, wow. Brilliant stuff from Cristian Perez. Very happy for him. I love a redemption arc anyway. I mean, I would have loved to see Wolverine signed to the UFC, because then we'd really start having a collection of, DC and Marvel comic characters in our UFC roster. But, Perez just got it done. And I'm really excited for what's next for him, because the redemption arc is a really beautiful thing, honestly. I can't wait. He's a huge lightweight prospect. He should get it done. And as we saw last week, Bilal Hassan, he, of course, signed his contract last week at, Dana White's Contender Series first week of this season. And he's already signed up for a fight on the UFC Shanghai card next week. So, and I think this weekend we have also another fighter from last week's episode. He was from the main event of last week's episode. Let me get his name up, because I don't want to say anything crazy. I did see it on the card. I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up at all. He might be on the UFC Sacramento card, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yes, exactly. So he's the newest addition to the main card of UFC Sacramento. He being Anthony Wint. Anthony Wint from last week's main event of Dana White's Contender Series, where he, of course, in his heavyweight bout, won via first round KO, and he is a minus 1,000 favorite for his fight in for his fight on the main card of UFC Sacramento. And his opponent is called Terrence Chapman. Terrence Chapman does not even have a photo on the UFC's website yet, because he is a last-minute addition to this card as well. So it just goes to show Dana White's Contender Series can go very quickly when you sign your contract. If you're willing and ready to fight, just after you've been on Dana White's Contender Series, then why not? And some of these guys don't take any damage at all. Some of these guys are getting it done in the first 30, 40 seconds of the first round. There's no need for, a couple months rest. They can go straight into a UFC fight if the UFC will have them. And that's what's happening with Wint, and that's what's happening with, of course, Bilal Hassan, who is fighting next week in Shanghai. Obviously, headlining the Shanghai card is Song Yudong and Umar Nurmagomedov. Very interesting fight. Of course, my prediction for this one, an early prediction for UFC Shanghai next week, on next week's card, is, of course, Umar Nurmagomedov. I can't bet against Umar Nurmagomedov, but Song Yudong had a brilliant performance in China the last time he went to China, which was not too long ago, a couple of months ago. So we'll see. I think he was against Figueiredo, if I'm not mistaken, in Shanghai. I don't know. Was it? I don't want to say anything, because, my head is just filled with fights that I'm not sure if I am always correct. Song Yudong. It was Figueiredo. It's a little encyclopedia here. I'm joking. So Umar Nurmagomedov versus Song Yudong next weekend in Shanghai. And as I said, contract winner from Dana White's Contender Series Season 10, Week 1 last week. Bilal Hassan is on that card to show off his new contracts. And next week we have, of course, Anthony Wint, also a contract winner from last week's episode, coming back straight away, bouncing back after 1 week to be a part of the main card for UFC Sacramento. So very exciting. Dana White's Contender Series produces some very nice prospects, and why not come back straight away? I'm very excited to see how they will fare. I think the UFC haven't given them really hard opponents. They're not giving them ranked opponents yet, of course. Duh. And I'm mostly looking forward to Mason Jones being on the main card of UFC Sacramento. Mason Jones is a favorite in his fight here, as he was in his last fight against Axel Sole, if I'm not mistaken. But Mason Jones, one of my favorite fighters from Wales, of course, and he is super exciting. Let me get up his fight. I can no longer rely on Google for the UFC cards because they do not have the updated cards anymore. Google are slacking. So, Mason Jones is fighting Markel Medeiros. Markel Medeiros is a plus 220 underdog to Mason Jones's minus 275 favorite. Also on the card, we have, of course, Reina Dorada versus Roman Dolidze. This is all happening at UFC Sacramento, guys, for those who don't know, on Saturday evening. Really exciting card. The co-main is splendid, to say the least. We have the co-main being a heavyweight bout between Vito Petrino and the Moldav, Sergey Spivak. I'm so excited for this card. And of course, in the main event, we have Anthony Hernandez versus Robocop Gregory Rodrigues. So this is a huge card. And as I said, starting off the card strong with Anthony Wint from last week's episode of Dana White's Contender series. We have Shamil Gaziev versus Kennedy Njoku on the prelims. I mean, UFC Sacramento is looking very nice, to say the least. And the fight kicking off UFC Sacramento's prelim fight card. So the first fight is Chanel Dyer versus Elise Reed. Chanel Dyer, we last saw at UFC London light up the octagon, and I'm very excited to see her come back. Yeah, I'm excited for UFC Sacramento too, also, Astral. I'm really excited because, honestly, it's not a title eliminator fight, obviously, between Rodrigues and Anthony Hernandez, but it's just a really nice fight. Anthony Hernandez, of course, coming off of his loss to Sean Strickland via third round TKO. Unfortunately, he didn't get that done. I picked, personally, Anthony Hernandez. Now that I'm looking back at it, because he's now, of course, Sean Strickland is now, of course, the UFC middleweight champion once again. I should never have picked against Sean Strickland. I do regret that. But I had too much faith in Anthony Hernandez right there. So it just goes to show when jiu-jitsu meets wrestling, I think wrestling has the edge, if I'm going to be honest. Just with experience, you can tell. Rodrigues versus Miller is next in a middleweight bout for our fourth fight on Dana White's Contender Series, Season 10, Episode 2, or Week 2, as they say. I think we're getting through these a little bit quicker than last week. It's only 2:30 where I'm at. It's been an hour and a half. We've already had 3 fights. I mean, I guess that is exactly the time that they put for fights. Half an hour per fight. That's the annoying part. Half an hour per fight. But we did start at around about 1:20, 1:30 for the first fight. So hopefully if Rodrigues versus Miller ends quite quickly, this evening can end quickly. It's not good I don't want to be here, but it is 2 a.m. in France right now. So, and I do work tomorrow morning. Right, so let me get some information on our next contenders here. Trent Miller is looking beastie. These are two middleweights that are looking very dangerous. I am scared for both these guys. So, Douglas Rodrigues versus Trent Miller. Douglas Rodrigues is from Brazil. He's another Brazilian prospect looking to punch his ticket in to the UFC. He's listed as 7-1 in his professional record. Trent Miller, of course, from the USA, comes in around 9-3. And here's the really interesting part. He's already been on Dana White's Contender Series. This is another redemption arc. And they're showing it on the screen right now as I'm talking. Ryan Gandra, obviously one of season 9's signatures, was the man to end all of Trent Miller's hopes and dreams on that season. And Trent Miller is coming back for a redemption arc. And let me look at those odds here. Is Trent Miller the favorite? No, he's not. So it doesn't mean you're a favorite it doesn't mean you're going to be a favorite if you have already been on Dana White's Contender Series. That does not mean anything. His opponent, Douglas Rodrigues, has not been on Dana White's Contender Series before, but he is a strong favorite at minus 400 to Trent Miller's plus 280. But Trent Miller is dangerous. He's a beastie middleweight. Both men are. But, Ryan Gandra put an end to Trent Miller's dreams last season. So Miller is another guy who knows exactly what's at stake. And this is, even more. And this is the fight I said in my recap video before starting this. this is a don't blink kind of fight, apparently. So both men need to make a statement. Of course, Trent Miller needs to make an even bigger statement, because he is, of course, coming back for the redemption arc. This is not simply about winning, guys. This is about making a statement. Dana White is here. Sean Shelby's here. Hunter Campbell's here. I think we're just missing McMaynard. I just didn't see McMaynard tonight. Not that that even matters. Right, so we're getting the walkout from Trent Miller. Here we go. Co-main event for Dana White's Contender Series, week 2 of season 10. Oh my goodness. This is going to be very interesting. And of course, in the main event, we have a huge fight between Namo Fazil and Kaik Brito. Kaik Brito, former Octagon MMA champion since he last was on Dana White's Contender Series. So he's another guy who was on Dana White's Contender Series in the main event. And then we have, of course, Fazil, who is a former MVP MMA breakout star. Current fighter we're looking at here is Trent Miller, 6 first-round finishes, finished 8 of 9 wins, 7 knockouts. And his last fight was the 10th of January. So he's probably feeling very fresh. He's had a lot of time to get ready for this fight. Almost 8 months to get ready for this. Ooh, over 8 months. What am I saying? Let's go, let's go, let's go. I even go as far as to say this man looks juiced up, but he's just probably put his all in for his physique, because he knows he's on the grandest stage of them all. He's already been on Dana White's Contender Series. He's probably made a lot of changes since his last appearance on the show. He wants to make sure this time around he gets the contract. But in his way, we have Douglas Rodrigues, who does not want to give his chance away. So even though Trent Miller has had his opportunity and knows what is at stake here, he's going to be the more calm and composed fighter of the two of them, possibly, not sure. But Douglas Enrique Rodrigues, 5-fight win streak, finished 6 of 7 wins via knockout. 5 wins via knockout and 1 via submission, Kickboxing black belt. Very dangerous when a Brazilian is a kickboxer. We know what that's about. We don't need to quote any examples, but we know Brazilians, when they're kickboxers, they are very dangerous. Good luck to Trent Miller here. This could be another situation where he is coming back on the show to lose again. 3rd time's a charm in that case. And I'm not sure if Dana White accepts you when you've had 2 tries at Dana White's Contender Series. Taylor tape. So for Douglas Rodrigues, he's 27, to Trent Miller's 30 years old. As I said, Douglas Rodrigues is at 7-1. Trent Miller is at 9-3. Trent Miller is 5'10". Douglas is at 6 foot. Okay, so slight height and reach advantage for Douglas Rodrigues, but that shouldn't really make any difference here. These men are both very beefy and scary looking. Ooh, there's going to be some high pressure here. I can feel it already. They're going to be attacking the calves right again, probably. Oh, nice high kick from Rodrigues. Trent needs to be careful. This could be a quick loss for him. But he's responding. He's retaliating. We're good. Okay. Get a feel for each other. Take your time. I know obviously they want to impress, but you don't need to be that quick. Ooh. Rodrigues is piecing Trent Miller apart. It's finished, I think. There, he's getting some nasty ground and pound. If this isn't finished, Trent Miller is a dog. Okay, it's not finished. It's coming back on the ground. Whoa. Rodrigues is dangerous. Trent Miller needs to be careful. Rodrigues is a hugely powerful volume fighter. This is going to end badly for Trent Miller if he doesn't change something right now. Whatever the game plan is. Ooh, low blow. Oh my God. That is nasty. We've got an official timeout for the low blow. Trent Miller just was kicked in the groin very badly by Rodrigues right now. Sorry, my dog is barking. I'm not sure why. It is 2:30 a.m. Why would you be barking right now? This is an official timeout still for this fight because, of course, there was a nasty jab, nasty leg kick in the groin. Boomer! My dog's name is Boomer, by the way. I don't know why he's barking. Official timeout still coming on for that nasty leg kick to the groin for Miller. Miller, of course, taking his time. I think it's the best opportunity to breathe, rest up a bit, get some rest whilst waiting for yourself to feel better. Okay, I think we're getting back. We're resuming now. Oh my goodness. This is probably going to be a bad fight for Miller. Just looking at how the first 2.5 minutes are going for him, I think that the knee to the leg kick to the groin for Miller, that just signed off his death wish, I think. Ooh, I may be talking too soon. Miller just got a nice shot to the chest on Rodrigues. Out of the two of them, Miller is the one that is bleeding heavily from the mouth. Not too bad for now. Bleeding from the mouth isn't too bad. Rodrigues needs to be careful because he is a little bit all over the place. But when his jabs land, however, when his high kicks land, he gets that nice combination between a high kick and some nice jabs, overhand rights. He is dangerous, but he is also a danger to himself because he exposes himself way too much. But I think I can say the same for Miller right now because Miller, being the smaller of the two, oh, he's trying to take him down. So Miller has achieved a takedown on Rodrigues against all odds. Rodrigues, of course, as I said, he's the kickboxing. He's a kickboxing black belt. So, of course, his strengths are on the feet. They are not on the ground. I don't know what Miller is trying to achieve right now, having taken Rodrigues down, because he's not really doing much on the ground. He's getting some shots in on those ribs, but that's about it. They are hugging each other right now. I'm not sure what's going to go down in this one, but this is a completely useless position, Miller, because this is not very impressive. Apart from tying yourself out and tying your opponent down, I don't see the point of staying on the ground if you're not going to do anything. And because even though Rodrigues is a black belt in kickboxing, he is Brazilian, so he has, of course, a minimum of experience on the ground still. Come along, Miller. Let it go. This position is not useful for you at all whatsoever. Hopefully Rodrigues will be able to get up onto the feet, but doesn't look like they're going to go anywhere. This may end on the ground. This may be a 1 minute and 30 to the end on the ground, but obviously Rodrigues is trying to get back up, but Miller is keeping him down, but then he's not doing anything with it. Come on. Obviously, he's trying to get some ground pound. He's not doing nothing, but it's not really working out because Rodrigues is holding him tightly onto his chest in order to not allow Trent Miller to get any kind of ground and pound in. And he's squeezing his way up to the fence. He may be able to get back up. I'm not sure, but I think this could end on the ground for this round. I don't see a finish here. Trent's getting some nice shots in, however, but he looks fine. Rodrigues is saying to the ref he feels fine. I mean, I don't see the point in this. If Trent Miller doesn't get a sub, he might as well give up the position, honestly. Give it up. Get back up onto the feet. Or maybe he's saying to himself, listen, I want to take 1 minute and 30 off for this round. The end of this first round. It's been a long round for me already, so let me just take some time off. He's getting some jabs in. The ground and pound is okay. But is it really happening and is it really worth it? 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left. No, it wasn't worth it. But I think he was trying to tire Rodrigues out as much as possible because Douglas Rodrigues, he's probably going to come back into the second round, all guns blazing, and probably won't give Trent Miller any time to breathe. these are two pressure fighters, but I think Trent Miller is a little bit overwhelmed by Douglas. That's why he took him down and kept him there. But if Trent Miller wants a UFC contract, he's going to need to do better than that. And Douglas Enrique, he has everything for him to get the win here. So Trent needs to be careful. He has the height and reach disadvantage, so the American may not get a contract if he continues doing what he's doing. We saw it last week. There was a fight that, of course, ended via UD. Even Dana White didn't give the fight to the person who the judges gave the fight to, and he did not give a contract to him. I'm not saying this will be the same sort of situation, but even if Trent Miller gets that ground control and maybe scrapes the UD, he won't get a contract just based on ground control. So let's speed things up a bit now, please. Let's go. Both men looking very, very tired. His first round was tumultuous, to say the least. Let's go. Second round, we are in it. Let's go. I'm not really sure how this is going to go down. This is a pick 'em right now. If Trent Miller decides to take this one to the ground once again, it's maybe quite boring to watch. If it stays on the feet and Rodrigues uses his kickboxing skills, this could be very interesting. And even Trent Miller, I mean, his striking isn't half bad, so he needs to use it. That was a nice left hand from Trent Miller on Rodrigues, but Trent Miller, he tried to get the takedown and he's just jumped into a ghillie. Rodrigues could get the guillotine on Miller. I am also hoping for a better second round too, Astral. Is this guillotine even going to work? Is he even tight enough right now? Oh, what? I don't understand. This is a double sub. I was saying that Rodrigues had the guillotine on Trent Miller, but Trent Miller was also trying to sub Rodrigues at the same time. I'm so confused. I was watching and I just thought I didn't see what was going on. Right, so obviously Trent Miller was on top of Rodrigues. Rodrigues was holding Trent Miller's head in his arm, trying to get the ghillie. But at the same time, I'm going to need to rewatch that, but at the same time, there must have been some sort of sub onto Rodrigues, and it was like a double sub situation, and Rodrigues unfortunately tapped. Or was he unconscious? Let me watch the replay. I don't really understand what happened there. It was quite weird. Right, so he goes in for the takedown. Rodrigues gets the ghillie. Trent Miller then trips him up, gets him onto the ground. And then, okay. So Trent Miller, whilst his head is still threatened by the guillotine from Rodrigues, Trent Miller gets himself into a situation where he can strangle Rodrigues, and he is doing just that. But when does he tap? Does he tap or is he unconscious? Okay, he is out. Okay, wow. That is crazy. I've never seen something like it. A double submission that ended with the man I didn't think would win getting the win here. When you look at Trent Miller's physique, especially his arms and his traps, you don't want to get strangled by that. So that was crazy, guys. For those who are not watching live on UFC Fight Pass or Paramount Plus, please go and watch this fight when you can. Trent Miller versus Douglas Rodrigues. It has just ended by a second round sub, and it was a double sub. A dub sub. But of course, the guillotine that Douglas was trying to get on Trent Miller was not efficient enough, because Trent Miller was able to get a nasty choke on him on the ground, which I'd never seen before. I was watching the guillotine happen on Trent, and I wasn't actually seeing that Trent was also getting the strangulation onto Douglas, who was on the ground, of course, was in the best of positions in the first place, but I thought maybe he was going to jump the ghillie and get the guillotine finish, but he didn't. When I saw the fight was finished, I thought Douglas was the one that was going to win. So this is the second time. That Trent Miller, of course, is coming to Dana White's Contender Series. Fell short in the first fight. He is now probably going to get a contract with the UFC after that second round sub. Brilliant fight from both men, but of course, Trent must have shown enough to sign a UFC contract. I would be surprised if Dana White doesn't give him a contract here. So the second one's a charm. And Mick Maynard is in the building. I didn't see him. Dana White has gone to toilet, unfortunately, so he wasn't able to. He wasn't able to shake Trent Miller's hand, but he'll see him later. By the way, Michael Chiesa is on the commentating booth today at Dana White's Contender Series. He's making his debuts as a commentator. I think he's doing a real good job. I mean, I'm not listening to it because I'm commentating for you guys, but I think he's doing a great job. I love seeing former fighters become commentators, i.e. Daniel Cormier, my favorite. I'm not a DC hater, I'm a DC glazer. Sorry, guys. Daniel Cormier for life, double champ. And that is an actual double champ because the double champ status has been heavily worn off for me. Seeing Islam with both belts on his shoulders, great, but are you simultaneously champion of the welterweight and lightweight division? No. Are the UFC going to prevent you from doing so in the future? No, but you just weren't able to. You vacated. So the last actual double champs, simultaneous champs, like Daniel Cormier, for me, I just have so much respect for those guys. Trent Miller, of course, talking to Tom Felder right now. Paul Felder, sorry, not Tom Felder. Paul Felder. Trent Miller, of course, second. It's called a Von Flue submission. Wow. I'm not clued up on every submission, and that is something I've not seen in a while, especially the double submission sort of position that he was in. That was beautiful. He just squeezed really tightly with his sort of elbow, squeezing, and he just completely cooked him. He was out. He was sleeping. That is crazy to me. Trent Miller should definitely get the contract here, and he has the physique to match. That is the sort of physique that Dana White is looking for. I know that physique doesn't mean anything because physique in the MMA community doesn't mean you're going to win. We're not in WWE, but he just looks like a beast. Trent Miller is a beast. He's now finished 9 of 10 wins, 7 knockouts, and 2 subs. And that Von Flue sub was very unexpected. Congratulations, Trent Miller. Probably going to get a contract signed very soon. So now we are on to the last fight, which is the fight we've all been waiting for. The fight that is in the main event at welterweight between our 2 biggest stars of the card, Namo Fazil and Kaik Brito. As I said, Namo Fazil, he is with Tiger Muay Thai, his team. He is at 10-1 currently in his professional MMA career. He weighs in, of course, at 170, 29 years old, 6 foot. His finishes are 4 KOs and 4 subs. So he has finished 8 of his 10 victories in his MMA career right now. And Fazil was coming into this fight with 3 straight wins and has most recently had a victory via sub over Jake Babian at MVP's Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano card, of course. For those of you who watch that, you will recognize Fazil. In May, of course, he fought and got the second round sub. He's clearly not afraid of making noise either. I don't know if you guys saw his face off with Britto, but he was just all gab. I hope that for Namo Fazil, he's not all gab and no action. This is his first time, obviously, being on Dana White's Contender Series. Signed to MVP MMA means you can't sign elsewhere, but he obviously was signed for a 1-fight deal. So here we go. And he'll be facing Kaik Brito, former Octagon MMA champion. He is also 29 years old. He's around 5'11", so he's almost the same height as his opponent, Fazil. And when I saw the face-offs, you could tell they were looking at, roughly the same height. 19-6, so his record is a lot bigger than that of Namo Fazil. Brito isn't some random prospect either. Of course, he's previously appeared on Dana White's Contender Series, so he is another one of those contenders from this week's episode, a 5th contender from this week's episode that has already been on Dana White's Contender Series. In 2023, he lost to Oban Elliott. I don't want to diss Open Elliott at all whatsoever. But obviously signing with the UFC in 2023, Open Elliott has had undoubtedly a very difficult UFC career. There's no other way of putting it. He's had a really difficult MMA career in the UFC. And it just goes to show you, not everyone who signs with the UFC via Dana White's Contender Series, even if they get huge knockout or submission wins on Dana White's Contender Series, it doesn't mean they're going to have successful MMA careers with the UFC. And unfortunately for Open Elliott, as we saw in his last fight, it just unfortunately didn't work out. Open Elliott faced Michael Oliveira, a new welterweight prospect from Brazil, an ex-army, an ex-soldier from Brazil, and Open Elliott just got wiped out, and he's not been having a great time of it. And it doesn't mean that having won his Dana White's Contender Series fight against Brito, that he was destined for greatness. I think he was destined for something, but he won't be in the top 5 nor the top 10 of the UFC's welterweight division, unfortunately, especially with the welterweight division we have currently at the UFC. So Brito, I don't know if that shows that Brito will lose this fight, because if he lost against Open Elliott, and as we say in MMA, there's levels to this, does this mean that he's going to lose? No, not necessarily. But Brito, obviously having more experience, he has the experience edge. He still lost to Open Elliott in 2023. So, he went on to completely change things, went back to the drawing board, obviously, made sure that he rebuilt his career from scratch, and that's why he became Octagon welterweight champ. He beat Ronald Paradisier by 3rd round spinning back fist in February. So he's effectively coming back to Dana White's Contender Series saying, I wasn't ready before, but now I am. I am now, which is great, but I don't know. Namo, Fazil, they're showing obviously his video from the UFC Apex when he came to do his training videos. And Namo, of course, I think it's his dream to fight for the UFC. He's very aggressive. He looks very dangerous. This is a really interesting grappling versus striking matchup, because Namo, of course, looks a great striker, but he is also great on the ground. So I think this will go either way. Fazil has 8 finishes, 4 by knockout, 4 by submission. So this will go either way. And Brito has a ridiculous 14 TKO record on his MMA record. So that is crazy to me. He's fought 25 professional bouts. Fazil has only 11, but that does not mean anything. I don't know. If I were to pick between Fazil and Brito, I would instinctively choose Fazil. Fazil is a minus 180 favorite, so not a huge favorite here, to Brito's plus 140. So not a huge difference. Not exactly a pick 'em, but not a huge difference either. I don't know. I think Brito, being the underdog here, he has all his chances. He has the experience, as I said. Lost to Open Elliott in his first appearance on Dana White's Contender Series. He has a lot of professional bouts under his belt. But Namo Fazil, he's got that dog and that drive and that aggressivity, that violence in him that I don't see in the eyes of Kaik Brito, if I'm honest with you. Sometimes you can just tell. I mean, Fazil looks like he's been through many things. He may not have as many professional bouts, but I think it's just because he's been doing other things. He's not been fighting. He's been doing other kind of fighting, maybe outside of the pro MMA world. Like, for example, Jorge Masvidal, Kimbo Slice, men that were first introduced to us on the underground illegal fights circuit. Brito making his way to the Octagon right now. First, of course, of the main event to come into the Apex. In his corner, we have famous UFC fighter Bruno Ferreira, one of my faves. Bruno, of course, coming off of a loss to one of our headliners for this weekend, Gregory Robocop Rodrigues. I don't know if Bruno's fight's been booked yet, but I think he's got a fight coming up. But having Bruno Ferreira in Kaik Brito's corner, not too shabby. Kaik Brito with 12 first-round finishes, finished all 19 wins, 16 knockouts, and of course 3 submissions. So finishing all 19 wins is crazy to me. There is not a time in your life where you've won a fight via submission. That is brilliant. That's why this fight is the main event, because not only is it in a division right now in the UFC that is one of the biggest, hottest divisions right now, welterweight, but we have some huge prospects in this fight. Lot at stake, of course, a lot of reputation at stake, and especially for Namo Fazil. If Fazil loses his fight, then all this talk and, of course, all this outside of the UFC experience that he's taken in from MVP MMA has not paid off. And I wouldn't say I'm surprised about that, honestly. Just because he's coming out of MVP MMA with a great win from MVP MMA, just because he's got a big mouth does not mean he'll win. But he is very aggressive, and I'm picking him still. Just based on the fact that sometimes your mentality makes the fight as well. Obviously, Brito coming in the second time, for Dana White's Contender Series, his mentality is more of a redemption arc, as is a lot of the fighters on this card. Oh my goodness, how sweaty is Fazil right now? He had a jumper on and a top, and when he took the jumper off, he was drenched in sweat. Don't really see the need for that jumper, honestly. It is 2:58, so I think it's a little bit earlier than it was last week when we had the main event come down. Hopefully this fight will be a one and done, so we can get some information from Dana, who is signing a contract, and I can go to bed. Not too bad. Last week, I think I went to bed around 4:30, because this last week's episode ended around 3:30, 3:45, something like that. And by the time I went to bed, it was 4 a.m. It's only 3 a.m. right now, so we have a good chance of me getting to bed a little bit earlier this time. So, Namo Fazil is on a 7-fight win streak. He finished 8 of his 10 wins, 4 knockouts, 4 subs, as I said. And his last defeat was at MVP MMA versus Fabian by Anaconda Choke. Brilliant. And if you guys remember from the Netflix MVP event, Namo shouted out Arman Sarukian. And Arman Sarukian, who was in the building at the time for the Netflix MVP event, went backstage looking for him. And Jake Paul was all but discouraging to Arman Sarukian, because, of course, Arman Sarukian outside the UFC and inside the UFC is known for staying in the pocket a little bit. But especially in RAF, he's had quite a few fights. So looking at the tail of tape, guys, as I said to you, they're both 29 years old, both similar height, but Brito has a huge reach advantage. Well, huge is an overstatement, but 74-inch reach to Namo Fazil's 71-inch reach. But if Namo gets this to the ground and gets a sub early on, then the reach advantage will have no use at all whatsoever. Jason Herzog, of course, refereeing our last bout of the evening for the main event of Dana White's Contender Series, week 2 of season 10. Let's go. I like Kaik Brito's hair. He's got like that half white, half black hair. Like it. Starting off strong. Namo has the cage control. A little bit. He's in the center of the octagon, but that does not mean anything, obviously. Low kicks, of course, getting a feel for each other. You can tell that Namo has the reach disadvantage just by looking at his arms. He's going to have a bit of a hard time gauging the distance with Brito, and Brito just landed his first nice right hand right onto, second right hand onto Fazil's face, because he has that reach advantage. He's already been able to gauge the distance, whereas Namo Fazil, he's probably having a bit of a harder time knowing how to get any jabs landed on Brito's face. Nice high kick from Brito as well. Even the stance makes Brito look way taller than Fazil, even though there aren't many inches between those guys. As I said, Fazil is 5'11", Brito is 6 foot. Brito could have landed a nasty elbow to the face, but he didn't. It didn't land, unfortunately. That would have been an instant knockout on Fazil. Ooh. It's looking like Fazil's been all talk and not much action, because, okay, you're protecting yourself, making sure... Oh, hang on. Okay, you're protecting yourself, making sure you don't get hit too much, but in the end, he's not as aggressive as I expected. The face-off would have suggested that Fazil would be the most aggressive of the two. But right now, Brito looks taller, lengthier and more aggressive. He seems to have a better idea of what to do with his opponent right now. The tables could turn, though. You never know. Ooh. They're exchanging blows right now, so the tables could well and truly turn. Fazil cornering Brito onto the fence. This could go either way. It's quite mixed. It's quite a mixed bag right now here. Brito still is on the outside of the octagon. Ooh, Fazil got some nice, nasty jabs, and Brito responded immediately with some nice, nasty right hands too. Oh my goodness. Brito has some nasty left hooks to offer to Fazil, but Fazil is quite aggressive on the feet. I'm surprised he's not trying to get the takedown, because right now Brito just landed some nice combinations on him. So I don't think Fazil will take any more on the feet. If he takes 3 or 4 combinations like that, he'll probably shoot for takedown a lot quicker than we expect. Oh, oh my goodness. Fazil is getting some nice jabs in. As we said, of course, he's got 4 knockouts and 4 subs. So this could go either way for Fazil. Fazil may want to keep us on the feet whilst he's dominating. Because Brito is, of course, retaliating quite a bit, but you can tell whenever Fazil's jabs are landing on Brito's face, they're hurting Brito very much. Fazil is just sticking his tongue out to show he's not affected by the jabs, but Brito still has a higher significant strike rate at 31 out of 53 significant strikes landed, 58% to 20 odd for Fazil, so not as many. But Fazil seems to be the heavier hitter in this fight. This is a toss-up. This is a pick-em here. This is a toss-up, guys. I could not. Whoa. Fazil's, if any of Fazil's combinations are going to land clean, he's going to get the finish in this one. This is going to be nasty. Oh my goodness. Brito retaliating with some nasty jabs. Brito's trying to get that spinning back elbow, but he's not getting it. And now he landed the takedown. So Brito has taken Fazil down. Fazil, of course, very good on the ground. So I'm not sure how this is going to work out for him. Well, they're back on the feet. Right. So it didn't work out. Right. 41 seconds remaining, guys. Who's gonna take this round? Nice spinning back elbow. He got it landed this time, Brito, but unfortunately it wasn't hard enough to knock Fazil down. Fazil looks like the more fatigued fighter of the two of them, but oh, he's getting some nice left hooks. Fazil's like, come on. Okay, I like it. I like the attitude. Actions speak louder than words, though. Let's go. 5 seconds remaining on the clock. Oh my goodness. Nice first round. Nice. Okay, we're on to the break for this first round of this main event. Wow. I don't know why Fazil is, Fazil was like, yep, this is the first round. You've not won the fight. Don't raise your hands for no reason. But I do like the attitude. If Fazil is the one to win this fight, Dana White, he already knows what this is going to be like. Dana White knows he's got a moneymaker on his hands, especially because he's a welterweight fighter. That attitude, he's a bad mouth. He calls people out for no reason. That attitude, with his skill set, if he wins a contract tonight, that is a moneymaker. And I think that's why he easily got a Dana White Contender Series contract after his MVP MMA appearance, because out of all the fighters that fought on the MVP MMA card, Fazil is the only one that almost caused a fight between himself and Al-Masroukian, who went backstage looking for him to cause drama. And you want men like this in the welterweight division. You want men like this in general, because they sell tickets. They create what we call, obviously the drama behind the fights. And you always need guys like this. Not too much, but still you do. So we're in the second round now, guys, of course. They're both warming back up to each other. As I said, Fazil needs to gauge that distance. He's getting there. He's landing some nice right hooks, but Fazil just... Okay, so Fazil's got that nasty nasty look on his face when he gets hit, because he's like, hit me, bulk, hit me again. Come on. Oh my goodness. I honestly think, though, when you look at Fazil, he has the thickest bar, the thickest the thickest oh my goodness, I've forgotten the word in English. That is crazy. The thickest beard. There you go. He has the thickest beard you'll ever see, and I think honestly that does help. It's thick and it's long, and I think when he's taking those hits, when he's taking those strikes to the jaw, I don't know. I just don't see the impact isn't there because he's got that padding from the beard. But he just hit Brito in the jaw, and Brito just showed him like, ugh, that hurt me. But these guys are solid. These guys are really solid. I think Brito's probably feeling it right now. You can tell Brito's hurt. Fazil, oh my goodness. The jabs that Brito is taking to the face, to the jaw. If he's not got a broken jaw or broken teeth right now, I don't know what his jaw is made out of, adamantium or something like that. Brito looks like he's fighting now through the pain. You can tell. Fazil is just hurting him. Ay. I feel bad for him. He's trying to smile through it. He's trying to get through it. He's still in there. He's still in the fight, of course. But Fazil is definitely dominating right now. And he's hurt Brito in a way we can't even see it, but you can tell. Oh my goodness. Some nasty left hooks. Both guys landing some nasty left and right. Oh my goodness. But the better man here, and the guy that's obviously in better shape right now, is Fazil, the favourite here, the slight favourite. Brito obviously needs to get back in this fight. He was dominating the first round, as I thought. Oh, he took another nasty left hook to the jaw. If he's not got a dislocated jaw, I don't know how he's still in this fight. What is going on? You can tell he's really hurting. His jaw must be really sore. Oh my goodness, took a knee to the jaw. Brito's jaw must be shattered. Oh. He's still not letting up. Brito is a tough cookie. We won 51 significant strikes for Brito in the first round to 22nd in the second. Fazil has landed 31 in the first and 30 in the second. So it's quite even. I think Brito took the first round, as I said. He was dominating. But I think Namo Fazil needed a little more time to warm up. But, oh, nasty jabs to Brito's face. He's a tough cookie, though, Brito, because Fazil landed some nasty ones. Oh, and Fazil just dodged another spinning back elbow. Come on, there needs to be a finish here. There must be a finish here. It's a dogfight. Someone will get a contract either way. If this goes to a UD, I wouldn't be surprised if Dana gave a contract to both guys. But there needs to be a finish here in this main event. We've not waited all night for it to be a UD victory for someone. Obviously, we're in the second round, so there's some time. They're exchanging blows now. Brito once again trying some sort of spinning back fist, not helping. Nice high kick from Fazil. Nice left hand. Another nice left hand from Fazil. Brito trying to counter, not really getting the counter very well. I think Brito's jaw is broken. He's just sometimes, doing this, and you can tell he's hurting in terms of his jaw. Maybe he just broke some teeth. Oh my goodness. Like Tresean Gore, he broke all those front teeth here in his fight at UFC 330 in Philadelphia last weekend. That was crazy. He was like, it's fine. I'm good. I was like, dude, the whole row is gone. You're going to have to get your teeth redone. And in his position, I wouldn't even get my teeth redone whilst I'm still a pro MMA fighter, because what use is there paying 30, 40 grand redoing one's teeth when you're going to have to be careful with them afterwards? You can't take any damage to the face after that, because you may break your fake teeth. Oh my goodness. So we're going into the third round now. We're in the We're in the break between the second and the third round. Bruno Ferreira, obviously, in the corner of Kaik Brito. Kaik Brito, who probably is feeling those left hands to his, as I said, to his jaw. Brito looked good in the first, looked not so good in second. He looked okay. This is the second round. The second round was definitely Fazil, Namo Fazil's round. So this is a 1-1, guys. I think we're at 2 10-9 rounds. Both of them took a 10-9 round each. So going into the third, if this goes to a UD, there's going to need to be a finish from either of these guys, or a nice round for either of them. Or I hope it's not a UD. I hope we get a nice finish. Third round. 5 minutes remaining. Let's go. Oh, Brito tried the flying knee a la Jorge Masvidal. Didn't get it. But, he's displaying his skills. Oh, my God. Brito just knocked out Fazil. Oh, my God. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Oh, my goodness. Obviously, I didn't see that coming, but Fazil did not see that coming. That was a straight knockout. He was on the ground, out cold. No need for any more jabs. Oh my God, what a clean shot. Whoa, I am in shock. Namo Fazil has failed in his quest to sign a UFC contract, despite, of course, being the favorite and, of course, the prospect everyone wanted to see signing at UFC. Oh my God. I'm shocked. Namo does not know where he is. Brilliant third round KO for Kaik Brito. So it does pay to have Bruno Ferreira in one's corner then. I'm joking. Kaik came with that KO. Oh my God, the clean shot. Magnificent. Oh my goodness. Damn. That over right hand was magnificent. I've never seen anything so clean. Wow. Oh my God. You can tell it came with such speed. He was out cold. Oh my God. That is a shocker. No one believed it. No one could believe it. Dana wasn't even looking at his phone. Dana wasn't looking even at the fight. He was looking at his phone. Everyone's shocked. Mick Maynard, everyone. Hunter Campbell, their jaws are on the ground. Kaik Brito is the real deal. This is a real fighter here. He came through the depths of despair in that second round to deliver a brutal, and the word brutal is an understatement, a brutal KO in that third round. What the hell? Yes, boa. Brilliant, amazing KO victory for Kaik Brito. I was not expecting that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Namo Fazil is not going to be kept in the octagon for Kaik Brito's hand getting raised, because there is no need. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. That is definitely a contract winner. Are they going to give a contract to Namo? I don't think so. Fazil, even though he put up a good fight in the first and second rounds, he's not getting a contract. He's been completely annihilated right now. That is crazy. Wow. Brasileiro. Boa chama. Let's go. I think this is going to be an easy task for Dana White to decipher who gets a contract here. I don't think he needs much time to deliberate on this one. Dana White decides who earns a UFC contract. So it is in France currently. It is 3:16 a.m. and we are done with the main card, the only card, of course, and the main event of Dana White's Contender Series, Season 10, Week 2. And we finish it off with a brilliant finish from Kaik Brito on his hyped up favorite opponent in Namo Fazil. So Fazil, of course, the favorite in this fight, getting the KO loss, unfortunately, on his record. So that was a nasty one. So Kaik Brito's 29 fight MMA, pro MMA career did pay off. His experience did pay off. And that was a nasty right hand. Oh my goodness. That was incredible. What a beautiful addition to the UFC's welterweight division. I think we can all say that wholeheartedly. And I can't wait to see what's next for this guy. And I can't wait to rewatch that KO. I'm going to, as soon as they put it on Instagram, I'm going to put it on my story. And as soon as I can, I'm going to download that video and keep it as a souvenir of what a brilliant night this was. Yes. Beautiful work from Brito. Beautiful work. As I said, he came through the trenches. He was losing that fight, or losing at least the second round. First round, he got it. Second round, he didn't. Coming into the third, it was a toss-up. He needed that finish to be really sure, but that is crazy. He is bruised though. He is beaten up, and if his jaw is intact, then bravo. Brazilians are tough cookies right now. Wow, and I love the hair, as I said in the start of this fight. Lovely black and white hair. He needs to keep it that way. That's going to be his signature look. It kind of reminds me of Miguel Costa, Dalmatian. Obviously, he's got vitiligo, so his hair, he dyes it many different colors. It's been black and white once in his career. He's also Brazilian, so I like that style. I think it's quite eccentric and crazy, but it looks good. So now Kaik Brito is officially at 20 victories to 6 defeats. And his first victory at the UFC via Dana White's Contender Series will definitely be one to remember. And as I said before, he has finished all 19 wins, and now he's finished all 20 wins. He is a finisher. They're just saying now that he trains with UFC Hall of Famer Shogun Rua. Well, you can tell. Oh my God. I can't wait to see who's getting a contract now. Of course, they've just finished the interview they're just getting wrapped with Paul Felder right now. Hopefully, he'll be able to let Brito go so he can sit down with the other candidates and see who's signing a contract right now. We'll see. Oh my goodness, they're showing us the KO again. That is just crazy. Wow. It's also that the effect that Fazil's hair is, of course, very wet and a little bit long. So when he got hit at that speed, his hair was like whipped out. I blew my mic out, but it was well worth it. I mean, that was crazy. That was crazy. Damn, Dana White's Contender Series is worth waiting up for, honestly. I would not have wanted to see that tomorrow morning. My FOMO would have been crazy at that point. I would have wanted to see that live, and I'm happy to have seen that live because that was a crazy knockout. What lucky MMA fans are we on a Tuesday evening to watch a KO like that? There's nothing better. Thank you, Dana White. Thank you, UFC. But right now, of course, we're waiting to see who is going to sign their contracts. The Portuguese translator is finishing up the interview with Paul, and we should be getting some words from Dana White on who's getting the contract signed, hopefully in the next couple of minutes. Looking back, obviously, at the fights, we got finishes in every fight bar the first one between Puga and Trembley. Puga obviously got the UD victory, and I think all 5 winners of this this card will get contracts, and I think possibly Trembley will get a contract too. So from the first fight, of course, where it went to a UD, I think that Trembley will get a contract too. We'll see, but they're about to announce now, so we're gonna put the sound up. Okay, Dana White announces UFC contract winners coming up. They're probably going to put an ad up. I'm too hasty here. They're probably going to give us an ad. But yeah, I think we're going to get, quote me on this, 6 contract winners tonight. 5 of which have won their fights. And of course, Trembley, who lost his fight, but he was a dog in this one. So I think he's going to get the contract too. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dana. Maybe he doesn't want to give contracts out to losers, but that was a dog fight in the first one. So I'd be surprised he didn't get a contract as well, because Dana White has consistently done that with other fighters. So it would be a shame that he doesn't do that with Trembley. Let's go. Waiting for Dana White to deliberate with McMaynard, Sean Shelby, and Hunter Campbell, maybe. I didn't know they needed that much time. Maybe they're waiting for everyone to get out of medical, because one thing I didn't realize before I started doing MMA events and, of course, interviewing fighters was that I didn't realize how much time we had between the end of the fights and, of course, the interview. So I thought as soon as the fight was finished, I could go and interview the fighter. But actually, depending on what organization you go to, there's always some time between the end of the fight and, of course, the interviews. But that's normal, because they need to come out of the fight, they need to come out and, you know, wipe their faces. But there's also a whole process of going through medical. In France, I don't know if that happens in the US, but they have to have drug testing done immediately. So before I even get to interview any fighters, I have to wait for the fighters to get their drug tested, their P tested, of course, and I have to wait for them to go through medical before they can come and be interviewed by me. So I was a little impatient in the beginning. I was like, what's going to go? What's going to happen? But why are we waiting that long? But I get it now. So right, so we're hearing from the commentators that Puga and Trembley were both. Sorry, I'm way too enthusiastic. I'm blowing my mic out every 2 minutes. But Puga and Trembley are both, unfortunately, not going to be sat in the chair to hear if they're going to get a contract, because they've both been transported to the hospital for safe measure because they were in bad shape. See what I mean? Even before we get a chance to see the fighters, sometimes medical will not allow them to stay in the arena because they need to go and get medical attention immediately. So Puga and Trembley will not be present for reading out whether they get a contract or not. But I think that's just testament to the fact they will both be getting contracts still. However, we're still waiting for Brito to come out of medical now, which is why we're waiting to see who's going to get a contract. I think it's, you know, sending both men to the hospital is just enough to get a contract. Okay, Dana White is on his way. We're going to be hearing from Dana White on who is getting a contract. He's just met up with Paul Felder, so let's give Dana White the floor. One of the most memorable Tuesday nights in all 10 seasons, for sure. I love Tuesday nights. Puga. Puga and Trembley were both sent to the hospital, and they're both getting contracts. No brainer. Okay, it's Sean Shelby's call that Tanner Trembley signs his contract as well. So congrats to both guys who are in the hospital right now. They deserve it for sure. Oh, Dana thought Lorenz's stoppage was early, but he was asleep. He was a 4-to-1 dog coming in and he won. Lorenz has signed a contract. Redemption arc. Second time's a charm. Congrats. Perez, let's go. Cristian Perez also obviously on his redemption arc. Oh, he's going to throw him on the Noche card. Wow. Cristian Perez, a Mexican, of course, signed to the UFC now as of right now, and he's on the UFC Noche card. What? Oh. Trent Miller's going to get... Oh, okay. Trent Miller. Von Flu choke. Yes, Trent Miller gets a contract. He was scaring me there. Dana was scaring me. He was saying, you know, I'm brutally honest. Incredible. Suspense. Look at Brito's face. He is beaten up. Poor thing. Dana saying he loves Brito's style. I do too. Huge welterweight prospect. He's finished it in spectacular fashion. Oh, he's crying. Oh. Oh, good man. Makes me emotional. That's crazy. I don't like when people cry. They obviously wanted UFC Noche fighters. Dana White is a real, you know, you can say what you want about Dana White, but he is taking his time to talk to every one of the contract winners and congratulating them. Brito is crying his eyes out. That is crazy. Oh my goodness. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The redemption arc for a lot of these fighters was a success. So I'm talking, of course, about Lorenz, who got a contract tonight. I'm talking about Cristian Perez, who also, of course, had made an appearance on Dana White's 10 series. Didn't work out the first time, worked out the second time. I'm talking also about Miller, and I'm talking also about Brito. These guys deserved a second chance here, and I'm really happy for them. And I know I spoke too soon. I said that, hang on. I said that Brito lost his first fight on Dana White's 10 series to Oban Elliott, which is not a good sign because Oban Elliott has not been doing well in the UFC since. But actually, it doesn't mean anything. And we'll see what's next for him in the welterweight division. But it's already a great sign that he gets those kinds of finishes on big competition like that. And he was a plus 140 underdog in that fight. Biggest, of course, knockout of the night was the main event. So it was a well-deserved main event. And for me, the biggest takeaway is from the Logan, Wolverine, Paxton, and Cristian Perez fight, just because even though Cristian Perez was the favorite in this fight and he got the win and got the contract, Dana has already planned to put him on UFC Noche's card in September, which is so cool. And I can't wait to see it. And I'm happy to see more and more Dana White's Contender Series winners getting immediate fights when they've outperformed themselves on Dana White's Contender Series. So I'm very happy for all of these men, especially, of course, the winner of the main event, Brito. He is coming in with a redemption arc that was obviously very emotional for him, and those tears were real tears of joy. So very excited to see all these men back in action in the octagon, especially, of course, Perez we're going to be seeing very soon. Stay tuned, of course, for UFC Sacramento. As I said, Anthony Wint from last week's main event is going to be competing. And next weekend at UFC Shanghai, We have Hassan, Bilal Hassan, who competed last week as well, from Hawaii. Both men are well deserving of their contracts, and they are well deserving of a quick bounce back and a quick turnaround on a card this month. So very exciting for the future of these guys. Very exciting for this weekend's fight. As I said, this weekend we have UFC Sacramento. My video for that is coming out tomorrow evening, Thursday at the latest, but probably tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for everyone who's tuned in. Thank you. Shout out to Astral, as always, for being with me throughout the whole time I've been live. And I'll be keeping this up, obviously, because I love watching this. And if I can watch it with people, it's even better. Why not enjoy it together? So I'll be joining you guys for another watch along next weekend. And hopefully I'll have some guests on the watch alongs from now onwards. From, next week onwards, I'll be trying to get some guests on with me, so I'm not alone. It is nice, obviously, to be alone, but yeah. Where is the Kurdistan people? Ha ha ha. Kurdistan people. I don't know. They didn't even want to put his flag on there. Oh my goodness. Anyways, watch out, of course, for my video coming up next tomorrow or after tomorrow. Check out my Kurdistan is Iraq. Okay, yeah, that's true. Sorry, my geography is rubbish. Check out my video that I brought out this afternoon. Please do not miss that one. And of course, I'll be here next week for another watch along for Dana White's Contender series. Come and join me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, happy fight week. Bye.